Alright, so today we're going to review some problems from Algebra 1, which is writing equations of a line. This is going to touch on material from slope that we did the other day and extend it into really a big chunk of what you did last year in Algebra 1. Alright, so first thing, I will start virtually every problem with point slope form, which is our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, I know that at times can seem like a hard one to remember. Alright, but you guys are doing fantastic with slope. So the key thing to remember here is if you just divided both sides by x minus x1, notice that you get y minus y1 over x minus x1 equals m. Alright, so this is really just a fancy way to write the slope formula, because a line is something where there's a consistent slope and there's a shared point that goes through it. So if I look at number 1, it says write the equation of a line that passes through those 2 points in point-slope form, slope-intercept form, and general standard form. So when I look at this, first thing we need is for a line, we always need a point and a slope. All right, so I'm going to make notes over here what we need. And we'll start by finding the slope. So the slope, we're going to take our change in y, so 10 minus 5, over negative 3 minus 2. That's 5 over negative 5, which is a negative 1. All right, so we have the slope now, and next thing we need to do is we need to take a point. There's 2 points on the line, so we're just going to pick one of them. I'm going to pick the 2 comma 5. I could have just as easily picked the other point. Point slope form isn't unique, like slope intercept in general, but it is an easy way to get to the equation. So I'm going to start with y minus y1, which is the y value of our point, in this case 5, equals, and then I've got slope, which we just found was negative 1, times x minus the x value, which is 2. All right, so there's our point slope form. Now, for point slope form, I don't need to do anything else. I'm done with that. So that's point slope. Now we need to take this and change it into slope intercept form. All right, so we're going to start by distributing. So y minus 5 equals negative 1x plus 2. Then we're going to add that 5 over. And at this point, I have y equals negative 1x plus 7. All right, this is our slope-intercept form. So again, to get to slope-intercept form, I'll always build it from point-slope form. Occasionally, we'll be in a lucky situation where we're actually given the y-intercept. That's the one situation where I might go to slope-intercept form initially. Otherwise, I'm always just going to build it from point-slope. All right, the next form is general or standard form. So this is where we need to get the x and y on one side. So I'm going to add x over to both sides. And I get x plus y equals 7. All right, that is our general or standard form. We got really lucky here because there were no fractions. So we have general or standard form. And the leading coefficient was already already positive. So we've got our equation in all 3 formats. All right, so that problem would be done. All right, taking a look at the second problem. So this one says write an equation of a line parallel to y equals 1/2 x plus 3, which passes through the given point. So just like the last one, we need a slope and a point. All right, so the point was easy. They gave that to us explicitly at 4, 3. We didn't have to make any choices. We've got one point. That's the one we have to choose. Now, for the slope, it says parallel to this line. All right, so parallel, we want to keep that in mind as that means same slope. All right, if 2 lines have the same slope, then they're parallel to each other. So this line has a slope of 1/2. So a parallel line would also have a slope of 1/2. Now, at this point, I've got the 2 pieces of information I need, so I'm going to start with point slope form. So y minus the y value, which is 3, equals m, the 1/2, times x minus the x value on the point. All right, so this is our point slope, all right, which was one of the 3 answers they asked for in this. All right, then we're going to take this and we're going to solve for y to get slope-intercept. So y minus 3 equals 1/2 x minus 2. We'll add the 3 over. Y equals 1/2 x plus 1. All right, this is our slope-intercept form. And again, notice how I built that from point slope. So you want to think of this as one flow of a problem, not three separate problems. All right, the final one is to get to general/standard form. So in this one, I'm going to subtract to move the x over. So I've got negative 1/2 x plus y equals 1. All right, at this point, though, I'm not in a good format yet because the x is negative and there's a fraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the entire thing through by the common denominator of all the fractions involved, which in this case is just a negative 2. I'm multiplying both sides of the equation so it stays in balance. So I'm sending this to the first one. The negative 2 and the negative 1/2 cancel, so I'm left with x. All right, I send it into the next term. I get minus 2y. And then I send it to the other side of the equation, and I get negative 2. All right, so when I look at this, this is my general or standard form. All right, so those are the three answers that we get for this problem. But again, notice it's really just grabbing three spots in the work on our way to general form. We're our initial point, point-slope form, that kind of halfway point when we're at slope-intercept form, and then the final once we've got the x and y on the same side and clear all fractions, which is our general/standard form. All right, so those are the three. Now, if I move on to the last one we're going to run through as a review, this one says write the equation on a line that is perpendicular to that and passes through 1, 3 in point-slope form, slope-intercept form, and general standard form. All right, so it's asking for the equation of a line, so we still need a point and a slope. All right, the point is explicitly given 1, 3. And then slope, it says perpendicular to this line. So perpendicular, we got to remember, means opposite, reciprocal, slope. All right, so the slope of a perpendicular line is the opposite reciprocal, so flip it over and change the sign, right, to the line that we're starting with. So I'm going to find the slope of this line by getting in the slope-intercept form. So negative 2y equals negative 3x plus 5, subtracting the 3x over. Then I'm going to divide by the negative 2, and I get 3/2 x minus 5/2. All right, so the slope of this line is 3/2. So the slope of a perpendicular line, right, would be the flip it over reciprocal, so 2/3, and then the opposite sign, so negative. All right, at this point, I've really taken this problem back to the same as the other two. We've got a point and a slope, so we're going to start with point-slope form. Y minus 3 equals negative 2/3 times x minus 1. All right, I'll distribute, so y minus 3 equals negative 2/3 x plus 2/3 when I send that into both terms. Then we're going to add 3, right, but I'm going to make it 9/3 so that we have a common denominator. So I've got y equals negative 2/3 x plus 11/3. All right, then I'm going to add to get the x and y on the same side, so 2/3 x plus y equals 11/3. And then I'm going to clear the fraction. So I'm going to send that 3 through. 2x plus 3y equals 11. All right, so that gives me my three forms, all right, that were asked for. So we started at point slope. Then we progressed to slope-intercept. Then we progressed to general or standard form. All right, I've seen books write that as general form and standard form. I've seen it labeled both, so I want you to recognize it if you see it somewhere. All right, so those three problems should set you up to be successful in the homework for tonight. The homework for tonight is just a lot of practice with writing the equations of lines. Do watch for what they ask for, because they will ask for one of the three formats for your answer. But remember, whichever format they ask for, still follow the same progression. Start at point-slope form and work your way to general form. It's just if they ask for the answer in point-slope form, stop after the first step. If they ask for it in slope-intercept, stop after you get to that point. If they ask you to get to general or standard, then you're going to work the full way through. All right, so it's really just where is your stopping point in the same flow of work for every one of those questions. All right, hope that helps. I'm available for questions if you have any. Thanks, bye.